Hi, everyone, and welcome to It's Not Over, a show where I get to bring amazing women on, talk about their experience in life, how getting a little bit older is not awful, sometimes fun, right? But kind of the road to get there. So today I have on my friend Susan Block. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist. You're my first licensed family therapist on.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
got to start somewhere.
Well, welcome.
Thank
Yes,
you.
welcome. So we're going to speak to Susan today about a little bit about what she does, a little bit about her practice, a little bit about how to help people, and even a little bit about her own story. So let's get going. You ready?
Yeah, thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you for coming.
Yeah, I'm
right?
excited to be here.
I want to say it because you are privy to this, that this show, I digress. I used to pay someone to come and video us, and today she was going to have to come on. We set up I'm going to take a picture for everyone to see. It's a tripod and a phone and a button, and Susan and I. So we are
So
keeping
anyone
it real.
can do it.
Anyone could do it,
Yes.
and we like to have the ladies doing it. So Sheba's here. She's going to come see us later. She's our
Behind the
director
scenes.
today. Yes, behind the scenes. So anyway, Susan, thank you so much for being here. So let's start with your path. I hear wonderful stories about what leads people into therapy in the first place, and sometimes they're the craziest people I know.
What are you trying to say, Julie?
Not you, everyone else, especially the marriage and family therapists. So what brought you to this career?
Yeah, I love talking about this story. I can talk about it for days. When I was in middle school, I saw the family counselor at my middle school, and I was a very shy kid. Had some family stuff going on, and went to see the counselor. And of course, as a teenager, you don't talk, you don't say anything. And little by little, I started to come out of my shell. And I remember it was one session I was having with my therapist as this little middle school kid.
Right.
And I looked where the therapist was sitting, and I thought, one day I want to sit in her chair.
Wow.
I literally had that thought. And I became a peer counselor at school. And then I took a different path. You go through high school, college. I kind of went in a route that I was like, let me get out of college fast.
Yes.
Let me see what limited classes I can
now
take.
Let's go back. Do you want to go back now?
Go back to college? Oh God, no, I wouldn't even know what to do.
Oh boy. All right.
But I've already been through college, grad school, the whole bit.
Okay.
So took a different path, became a school teacher. And I did that for 15 full-time years. And I think it was my second year in teaching when I realized I need to go back to graduate school and fulfill my passion, my original passion. And so another colleague of mine, the both of us went back to graduate school while we were working full-time.
That's a lot.
And I got my marriage and family therapy degree, and then put it on the back burner. Didn't do much with it, kept teaching, kept doing my thing until life circumstances kind of took a different turn.
How old were you when you started to do this full time?
Oh gosh, I was probably 39, 40 when I jumped back in to my second career. And I did both for a while. I had to build the practice. That took, years to get to where I needed it to be before I could take the leap and do it full time. I was doing it by myself, so I didn't have a partner at the time. So, all the responsibilities, all the financial responsibilities were all on my shoulders, and I did it. And happy to say that it's been, I think I've been out of teaching now. I don't even know how many years it's been. That's how long it's been. Yeah, and it's been the best decision. I never looked back. Although I had a great career, and I love the people I work with, my colleagues, the kids, everybody. But this is where I'm meant to be.
You took a chance later in life.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're fucking awesome.
Thank
I'm so
you.
happy. And I love what you said about it didn't happen right away. I think a lot of times with my clients also, they want to do something new and they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. You need to be patient.
You have to know what you want to do.
You have to know what you want to do. A lot of people do not know.
That's the biggest thing.
Or they know and they don't do it.
Exactly.
And that makes me want to cry.
Exactly. Yeah. And they get stuck for years doing something that they're not happy with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we do this, Susan. Okay. So what are, if you don't mind sharing, some of the tough seasons that you've had in your own life that, because it's always leads into, in my opinion, a better counselor, someone that can be empathetic and someone that has been there.
Yeah.
So what are some things you've been through?
So while I was teaching, I was getting to my late 30s, and I at the time was single. Didn't have a partner. I really wanted to be a mom. That was, I remember being a little kid, always wanting to be a mom. I was a babysitter. I was a school teacher. Like, always loved kids and always saw myself as a mom. And I got to a certain age and realized I need to take matters into my own hands. And so I did. Without going into too many details, did some family planning on my own. I had the full support of friends and family and colleagues, and everyone was like, go for it. And I did. And
you had a cheer squad.
Yeah, I had a cheer squad. That's exactly it. And after a few tries, I ended up getting pregnant and was elated. I was like, okay, this is it. And had a really pretty smooth pregnancy. Everything was just going according to plan. And then at some point, because of my age, I had to go and work with a high-risk doctor.
Right.
And they said, there's some additional testing that we should do just to make sure everything looks good.
Right.
Went through all of that and realized that there was something wrong with the baby. And this was a little bit later on in the pregnancy. So I knew the gender, I had named the baby. People were sending me gifts. I was family planning.
Yeah.
And so after several weeks of testing, we had a diagnosis, and long story short, I ended up losing the pregnancy at 22 weeks and was crushed. I was just devastated. It cost so much money, going through fertility treatments to get pregnant. And then I'm back to square one.
Yeah. Yeah. And having had this not so nice experience behind you.
Exactly. And, being 22 weeks pregnant, you've gained the weight, you're looking pregnant, and then having to start over. Yeah. And at that moment, I just knew that I needed a change, that it had been such a devastating experience in my life, something I just never anticipated. And at that point, my teaching career, which again, I was happy, I was comfortable, but it wasn't my passion. And so I had to do something about it. And that's when I decided to go down the path of shifting careers.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, people around you, because thank you for sharing, were people around you, what was the support that you needed at that time? Who showed up? Who was there? Who really understood?
Yeah. That's such a loaded question. Yeah. I think anyone who's ever gone through grief and loss, it's like the people that you hope would be there. Sometimes it looks a little bit different. And then people who you don't even think would be there for you, or the people who show up. So it's just a whole evolution of building your support system around this devastation. And so that's really kind of what happened. Family, friends, you need those people more than ever during something like this. Oh, and my good therapist.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. Immediately I went right into therapy. I'm obviously I'm a therapist, but I'm a firm believer in having a therapist at different stages of your life. And it was such a support system for me. In addition to that, I had mentioned that I was doing this alone. So through all this kind of like chaos and confusion is when I met someone. Of course, and in the worst time of your life. And then, of course that happens. There he is. So I met someone, and fast forward, we ended up moving in together. Had a relationship together, and then continued my journey of trying to be a mom, but now I had a partner to do this with. Yeah. And so that was an experience to be able to, share that with someone that you love. And unfortunately, being a mom in that way just wasn't in the cards for me. I went through multiple miscarriages, losses, trying to get pregnant. So the path to motherhood was really rocky. And, people talk about like the happily ever after. And although I have an incredible life today, that path to motherhood just wasn't in the cards for me. So I had to reshift my focus again.
Yeah.
And, this is years ago, but fast forward today, and life just is pretty damn incredible. So, not the package I thought it would be in, but I think this is the whole point of why we're talking today. I think more women, more people in general need to know that just because you envision one thing for yourself, you can still be happy, like genuinely happy in your life if it looks different.
And I'm hearing the confidence, like you are a confident person. I think, like you said, even in middle school, you knew who you wanted to be. And how amazing is that, that you're bringing your own self knowledge of who you are into where you're going. That's so beautiful, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people have pity parties and they don't move forward, and it's part of it, but how wonderful that you're able to now.
Wasn't easy.
Yeah, I bet. You just push the button and there you were.
Exactly.
That's why therapy is so important.
Yeah.
That's
having
what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your practice. Yes. I know it's a little bit different than, I know we spoke about, you Google something and you find you, which is amazing. Tell me a little bit about what makes your practice a little bit different.
Well, I started the practice more as a generalist. Just really honestly started this business and I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I'm like, let me just like talk to people. Let me figure this out on my own. I, reached out to people who were doing it, old professors, like anyone that I could get my hands on to teach me. So it was a learning curve. And I knew I wanted to do private practice. I knew I wanted to do a self-pay practice, never take insurance, but I didn't know I wanted to specialize in marriage counseling. That sort of found me along the path. So I was working with different people, and I realized the people that are making the time go by fast, the people that I'm very interested in their stories, are adults who are in relationships, just working with individuals, and then working with couples. And I just sort of fell into this specialty and I loved it. And most people are like, how do you work with couples? Doesn't it get like crazy and complicated? And sometimes it can get a little loud. Sometimes it can get a little chaotic. But I am rooting for the couples I work with. I'm very passionate about it. If I could like link it to maybe my own story, my own childhood, I come from a divorced family and I love helping couples. I love helping families, and this gives me that opportunity.
When do you feel is the right time for someone to come see you? Like if I'm speaking to someone who's having difficulties in her relationship, is that the time to go?
Well, I will say when you get engaged, I think everyone should do therapy.
I agree.
But people won't do that because they're happy, and that's the best time in the relationship. And actually, there's research to support that couples won't do any type of therapy or get any support with at least 6 or more years after an issue begins.
Wow.
I mean, if you really think about that, 6 years minimum of going through, just chaos in their relationship before they decide it's time to get help. Right. So people really should be doing it early on when things start to feel...
When things are going well.
Yeah, when things are going well. Why not get the tools so that you can be prepared for the rainy days?
And it's communication. I'm sure you work a lot on communicating. Because it is not easy. You have a man and a woman, and how they communicate,
or a man and a man,
or a man and a man, or a woman and a woman.
Exactly.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you first start dating someone, or you first get, together, you're married, it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
You're living your best life. You're going to dinners. Maybe you're traveling. You have the freedom and the flexibility. And then when life starts to settle down, and maybe you have a child or two, And life is now about carpooling and changing diapers and like what we call the business of the day.
Right.
You know, did you call the plumber? Did you pick up the milk at the
That's
grocery
so sexy,
store?
right?
All those sexy things that people do. And you have to do those things. Those aren't going to change.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is it starts to disconnect the couple. And, you know, when you're here, things feel really good. But when you're here, because, you know, the kids and all the life responsibilities, this isn't going to create, you know, that romantic connection for couples.
Correct. And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Where are the children and where are the adolescents and the social media and what are they hearing? And in my experience, it's cyclical.
Yes.
It is the divorce perseverates, or the next generation, I don't think is going to get married. They have a really swayed view on marriage, the whole institution, that it doesn't work.
Well, and everything is so fast paced now. It's like if you're not happy, you can just go on your phone and find things. If you want to shop for something, you can have it delivered in an hour. So wild. Everything is so fast paced. And sometimes relationships, you know, take time to flourish and they take time for reconnection. And sometimes that can feel a little stale, a little boring. So technology, social media, definitely hinders the ability for couples to really connect genuinely. It's harder these days.
The world as we know it.
Yes.
Now, I know we're going to run over. I know, I'm sorry, but I wanted to get to this. I know that you deal a lot, not predominantly, I know you, with infidelity in general. So if you don't mind, because sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I know from what I see on my side, it's a very hard thing to move past.
It is such a delicate topic. And there are many people who and we probably have all done this. You know, you go to a party, you go to a dinner, and everyone's talking about, you know, if my partner ever cheated on me, I'd be out the door in a minute.
Right.
And then you find yourself in a situation where there's been a betrayal.
Right.
And for many people, they would never reach out to do therapy. They would never consider you know, fixing the relationship. They're at the attorney's office. It is the deal breaker. It's the non-negotiable. I don't meet those people in my practice.
Wonderful.
I meet the people who are confused by the fact that they do want to work on this. They have children. They have a history together. The partner who stepped out is remorseful and is devastated about how they got in this position. And look, I mean, we know how they got in this position, but they're putting their tail between their legs and they're like, I want to fix this. I want a do-over. And the person who's been on the
takes a very big person, I'm sure, to say, hey, I forgive you.
Exactly.
And let's move on from this. And
and then so they would reach out to a practice, you know, like myself, my practice, who specializes in infidelity. We call it affair recovery. And there is a process that we walk couples through, and it is not easy. It's messy, chaotic, but for those that stick with it, they can really recover. And sometimes the relationship is better than when they first got together.
There's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope. Okay. Rapid fire questions. Our time went too fast.
I can't believe how fast it goes.
I know. We were thinking, what are we going to talk about? Okay. So before we wrap up, we're going to do a little rapid fire.
All right,
questions.
let's go.
Okay. First one, biggest myth about therapy?
That it's just for people who have severe mental illness.
Yeah.
That this
stigma.
Therapy is for anyone. I work with very affluent, very high functioning people just going through life challenges, and it's good for everyone.
That is a myth. That we wait, something needs to be broken to go to fix it.
Exactly.
Okay. The hardest, most rewarding part of your job?
I think it's the hardest part is also the most rewarding. It's being with people at their most critical time in their relationship. Sometimes I'm the only person that they will share this information with, and that's very sacred for me. It's heavy, but it is also the most rewarding because you get to see this evolution of this relationship through the process. So it's very special.
How awesome.
Yeah.
How awesome. Okay. one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
Oh, that is a good question.
I don't think you knew that.
There's so many things I want to say to her. I talk to my younger self all the time. But what I really would like for her to know is that the worrying you're going to be okay. All that worrying that you spent in your childhood, all the things that, make you so special as this little kid is what's going to be what gives you the most success in your life.
What molds you.
Yeah. And you're going to be a badass woman.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we want. Okay. Okay. Last one. What makes you feel most alive on hard days?
Family. Friendships.
Wine.
I was going to say that.
Yes. Okay.
I love a good glass of red wine. And travel. I couldn't be a mom, but I get to travel all over the world, and I can do it whenever I want because I have a great career that allows me the freedom and flexibility. So what keeps me grounded are my family and friends, and what keeps me alive is the sense of travel and adventure and fun. Well, I just love you. Oh, and I love you too. I really do. I think it's amazing what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for coming on. So I wanted Sheba to come in. Come. You have to come. Sorry. Yes. She's our director. Sorry. We have a girls group here. Colleen, we're going to get you later. But I wanted to thank everyone for joining us. Share this with someone that might need this, please. This is why we do this. And Susan's going to let us know how we can find her. Yeah, you can reach me at coralspringscounselingcenter.com. We have a great team in place. We are virtual. We're all over the state of Florida. And so we get to work with people from the Panhandle all the way down to South Beach. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you learned something. I love you guys. Remember, it's not over. And have a great day. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.